going on, guys? It is November 6th, 2023, the first full working day of the daylight savings time. Hope everybody fell back okay. I know this morning it kind of felt like we got a little more sleep. When you woke up, you know, at least when I woke up, I didn't feel like I was running late. So, yeah, got up okay. But of course that will wither over time and it'll just be right back to hopping out of bed and running out the door. So, but all right, guys, like I said before in other videos, we're doing a lot of PMs this time of year, but I want to show you guys this Mitsubishi Ductless that I got into today. Had to break it apart and clean it. Just want to kind of show you guys how that comes apart and how I do it. So take a look. We have a Mitsubishi ductless unit here. I'm going to clean it today. We're going to open it up. Let's see. Yeah, it's got some pretty decent buildup on there. We're going to break it down and clean it. All right, this is only a 15,000 BTU model, so it's not very big, but we have two screws here, one here, one here. We want to take those off, and that will free the cover. There might be one more up here somewhere. Yeah. Here and over here, and we'll get that whole cover off. We have our cover off now. Now there's going to be some more screws and stuff we want to take out so we can get to our wheel. I think with this style we can actually get to the set screw without having to take this side off. So let's turn it a little bit. We're going to see if we can see the set screw. Yeah, see, that's the hole for our set screw there. You see, let me see if I can turn that a little bit better. It's in there. You can't see it from here, but that little notch right there where I'm pointing to with my screwdriver is where our set screw is going to be. We're going to loosen that, and then we're going to actually take these three screws out, 1, 2, and then a third one up there, and this whole coil will go up on that side, and then that will allow us to grab the whole blower wheel and pull it this way. All right, you see I got these three off, and we got this whole side of the coil loose now. You see? And we can see the wheel now. I do have the set screw loose. Let me see if there's anything else I can loosen to get myself more space. I don't know if there is. We're just gonna have to get it up far enough and just be careful not to pinch or anything like that. Maybe I can get this out of the way. That'll give me more swing room. All right, we'll get that out of the way a little bit. You see, we just want to get this up high enough. Maybe I can take this screw out. That might give me a little more space. Just high enough just so we can pull that wheel out. All right, there it is. Got her out. See, it's pretty cruddy inside there too, so we'll try to clean all that also. But we're gonna bring all this outside, filters, cover, and wheel, and get it all cleaned up. Guys, we're out here with the water hose now. Really, mostly a high pressure rinse will get rid of most of this, but we're also gonna hit it with this stuff here. It's the Dissolve mini split evaporator coil and blower fan cleaner. This stuff really works great. Mix it with some water, or you could use it full strength, but we're gonna put that on there. We'll melt any of this dirt right away. We got about a 50-50 mix of the Dissolve going on right now. 50% Dissolve, 50% water. I've already rinsed it. You can see it's already blew most of the dirt off of it. We're gonna hit it with this now and let that sit on it for a while, and we'll rinse all that off, and we should be good to go. This thing's gonna look brand new when it's done. Gonna get everything that we pulled off. Filters, cover, everything. And we're gonna take this inside, the dissolve inside, and we're gonna get all those back channels and panels and everything like that. All right, I got my drain pan off a little bit. Not too much though, even though it's not a whole lot in here. I'll probably wipe that down too. I just wanted to be able to get in here better so I can clean all that also. All right, we got drain pan clean. We got all this clean, looking good. Pretty happy with it. So we're gonna start reassembling this thing. All right, guys, we got our wheel back in. We got our pan back in. Our coils locked back on. We got all our screws in except the cover. We just want to make sure our wheel spins free with everything on. It's not hitting anything. Looks like it is. So before we turn it back, before we put the cover back on, we are going to turn it on, give it a test run, just to make sure we have nothing squeaking, hitting, rubbing, anything like that. Because anytime you pull the wheel out, you want to make sure you get it completely lined back up and no wires have accidentally got disconnected or anything like that. So the Mitsubishis will run with the cover off, so because there's nothing that plugs in on them. So we're gonna find the remote and turn it on now. All right, sounds good, looks good. Let's go ahead and shut her down. All right, and there she is, clean, ready to go. It's up here pretty high in the air. This is like 10 feet in the air. I'm on a 10-foot ladder and it's at least 2 or 3 feet above that. So she is up there. Cool. Yeah, guys. So those ductless units, they get dirty, especially in high traffic areas or a home that runs the fan all the time and stuff like that. Those things get dirty. The coil might not be that dirty, but that air scoop in there and those blower wheels, man, they really catch dirt. So you got to make sure you clean those regularly. They make kits that you can put like a bag underneath the unit and wash it out and stuff. But I like to disassemble them and clean them. You know, especially the Mitsubishis, they're real easy to take apart. Daikin makes one that's easy to take apart. LG comes apart pretty easy. The new model carrier ones come apart pretty easy. The older ones do not. And Fujitsu comes apart okay. I'm not the biggest fan of their ductless stuff from a service standpoint anyway, but you know, most of them come apart pretty easy, and if they don't come apart easy, they have disassemble instructions so you can go by. So but Mitsubishi is by far my favorite one as from a service and disassembly standpoint. So but all right, guys, well, we got that one all cleaned up, so we got a gas pressure test to do. I'm going to show you again how I do that. I showed you in a couple of videos before, and how I do a low pressure then a high pressure test. So I'm going to show you again. Take a look. We're going to do a gas pressure test today. I just got through walking the house. There's 3 gas appliances. We have a gas fireplace here, and then down the basement here we have a gas furnace and a gas water heater. So we're actually going to go ahead and turn this on because we're going to do a low pressure test first. I showed that in a video a couple weeks ago, how I do the low pressure test first. Make sure there's nothing leaking after our gas shutoff valves, and then we go ahead and do the high pressure test, leaving the gauge on for the gas company. Here's our manifold here. Let's see. Okay. Looks like it's all liquid tight, or not liquid tight. What is this stuff called? Gas tight, or whatever variation of it is. Yeah, this is gas tight. Okay. So, yeah, comes in here, manifold, and so there's a lot of stuff that could be leaking here. It is installed properly. It's grounded here. You see that. So first, like I said, low pressure test. Let's get going. Yeah, so the house is under construction. It must have been vacant for a while because the gas company has just taken their meter. And I can see the liquid tight or the gas tight comes right off of our meter here. So we'll put our test rig on right here and start with our low pressure test. All right, what we want to do first is make sure our O-ring is in good shape. Now this is almost like a flat type O-ring, and it looks good. So we'll go ahead and put our test rig on. We have our hose hooked up here. We have our manometer on. So what we're going to do, we're just going to go ahead and give it a couple good blows and get it up to maybe a half PSI or so, and then we'll hook it up to the manometer and see if we have any drop. We're going to hold our finger on it. We seem like we got a pretty good amount there, but we're going to go ahead and give it one more. All right, and we got it kinked off here. So we're going to take our manometer, and we're just going to hook up this end to here. We're trying to keep that pinched over. All right, we got it. And we're going to open it up. And looks like we landed on 38.8 inches of water column. So we're going to let that sit for a few minutes and see if it drops. Now remember, our gas valves are open right now. Gas valves are open. Let's see what kind of PSI this is giving us. So we're at about 1.4 PSI, which is a little heavy, but that's fine. We can let it sit there, and we'll go back to inches of water column. Looks like it hasn't moved at all, but we'll give it, say, 10 minutes and see if it drops at all. Yeah, this thing has not budged. So I think we're going to be pretty good here. But all right, we're going to go in, we're going to cut off all the valves, which is 3 of them, and we're going to do the high pressure test. All right, we're going to go ahead and turn this guy off. Boop. And then bip, bip. Okay, that's all our shut-off valves to all our appliances. I don't need to cut off this one because there isn't any pressure-sensitive devices after this, and this is our main shut-off anyway, so that means we would only be high pressure testing from there back. Now, if we do have an issue, if I start to have pressure drop, I will shut that off and then re-pressure test to make sure it's not leaking from this shut-off valve back to the meter. But that's only if there's an issue. So we're about to find that out now. It's went up since I've closed the valve. So we're gonna go ahead and blow this off. We're gonna put our Schrader core back in, and then we're gonna pump her up with nitrogen. All right, we are dead on 15 right now. We're gonna give that, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. Make sure it doesn't drop. We're gonna go ahead and soap up just some of these fittings and unions, just to make sure they're not leaking at all. Most of the time when they show up is about 5 minutes after the leak solution sits on it. So we're just gonna go ahead and soap these up now, just to be on the safe side. We're kind of ahead of the game if our high pressure test doesn't hold. Well, if this one was leaking, that'd be a bum to get to. It's half inside the wall. Guys, this leak soap is cheap, so be generous with it. All right, I'll let that sit on there for a while. Let's make sure we don't got any bubbles. Well, looks like my cap is leaking. Shoot. Well, might have to change that valve core. I've had that one out quite a few times, so wouldn't surprise me if it is leaking. It looks like I'm good now. I just went ahead and tightened it up. I don't think I had it tightened all the way because, you know, that's basically an air gauge, even though it's still a valve core, but my my valve core remover's a little big for this application, but that's all right. I think I got it in there tight enough now. Not seeing any bubbles anyway. Not seeing any bubbles anywhere else either. I think we're good. We're gonna give it about 15 more minutes and make sure it doesn't drop at all. All right, it's been about 15 minutes or so. Haven't budged at all there. I don't see any bubbling anymore from anywhere. So I think we're good. We'll leave our gauge on here for the gas company, and I'll leave him a note asking him to please leave my test rig. They usually do. And when he comes back, and after he turns the gas on, we'll come back out and make sure all of his gas appliances start. All right, guys, we got that gas pressure test done. And hopefully the gas company turns his gas on. So I don't know if you guys aren't familiar with the way a gas pressure test works, especially when it's delivered natural gas. If a meter gets pulled for whatever reason, or if the gas company requires a pressure test, they want to see a gauge reading a certain pressure. Some of them only require 10 psi. Some of them want 20. In our region, they want 15. So, but that varies from county to county, from city to city. The one I did last week or the week before, whatever, he wanted 10 psi. So I gave him 10 psi. I know for a fact the utility company here in Salisbury wants 15. So that one's on 15. But it does vary from place to place. But the standard rule is anywhere between 10 or 15. So once he sees that, he'll do his low pressure test, and then he'll turn the gas on. That's why I always say I do the low pressure test first, because if you have a gas valve that's weeping by, or anything that's leaking past the gas shutoff valve, you won't know that. The gas company will come there, do their low pressure test, and they'll fail you, and you'll have to go back out there and try to find a leak. So that's why I always do the low pressure test first, see if that passes, and then do the high pressure test. It's never failed me, and it's always worked. So, but all right, guys. So I'm going to be doing in the coming weeks, I'm going to be comparing some combustion analyzers. I already have 2 or 3 different brands. I'm trying to get UEI to send me their 165 Plus. Looks like a really solid analyzer. I have the Inficon FluMate that Inficon just sent me, which seems like a really solid one. I've used it 1 or 2 times. I'm trying to familiarize myself with it before I make any videos on it. It's a pretty standard analyzer. I just want to make sure when I do a video on it, I don't sound like an idiot when I'm talking about it, because Alex over at Inficon was very generous in sending me this stuff, so I want to make sure I make good videos for him. But yeah, so I'm trying to get UEI to send me that. We have a couple Testos in the company. We might even have a backer rack in the company. I have to check and see about that. And a coworker of mine has the field piece model. So I'm going to try to get 4 or 5 of them together, and we'll compare them all, and we'll see what the strength of each of them are. And I'll tell you which ones I recommend. I've been using the UEI C155. It's like the Eagle 2X or something like that. I've been using that for years and years, and it's never failed me. I've had tech support tell me before they didn't like it for whatever reason, but it's never failed me before. It's always gave me proper readings. I get it calibrated every 2 years, and it's a great analyzer. So that's why I'm eager to see what the C165 Plus is about, because I know it's going to be a great analyzer. But we're going to test the FluMate here in the coming days, and then hopefully some other ones, and I'll do a comparison video. So, but all right, guys, that's it for this one. So don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you're new here, and I'm going to catch you on the next one.